Yeah, we'll get, so, sorry. Any of those whistleblower reports that Mr. Chasen made to you, do any of those involve Keith Posley?
I'm going to object the form of question. If there in fact was a city attorney in the room providing advice or therefore advice, then I would object to attorney-client privilege. So I would, if the attorney was there present for the whistleblower complaints with Mr. Chasen, then I would instruct you not to answer based on attorney-client privilege.
And that is a fact. That is their job. That's what they're there for. These discussions are not on the stage, if you will.
What does that mean? They're not, I didn't hear the word, first of all.
Employment issues are not discussed on the stage in public.
Sure, we're not on the stage in public. This is a deposition, and we are here under the power of the state of Wisconsin, and you're compelled to answer my questions here. So attorney-client privilege is one thing, but because it's a closed board meeting, that has nothing to do, that does not prevent the deposition question from being answered. Are you aware of that?
Actually, first of all, that is not a question. Now you're just harassing this witness, and you're misstating the law. If in fact information in a closed session does not involve your client, it's privileged. There's an exemption, statute 1985.
That's a public record statute.
You know what? It still applies.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
You gotta be kidding me here.
I'm instructing you not to answer.
This is your disruptive behavior at this has absolutely stymied the progress of this deposition. We haven't been able to get any progress whatsoever. This is more along the lines of what you were doing with Bob Peterson. Here we are again. We can't get any discovery because you're obstructing.
I am making my objections as I see fit.
You're speaking objections, which you know are improper. You know you're limited to saying form and foundation. You're giving this witness instruction. You're also instructing her not to answer on grounds other than privilege. You are testifying and other misconduct that is delaying the questioning of this witness.
I disagree with what you're saying.
I can imagine. So, when you received Matt Chasen informed you about Debbie Keither's complaints, did he not?
Again, if a city attorney was present or if it was in closed session, I'm going to object to attorney-client privilege and closed session exemption. If in fact that was true in this question, then I instruct you not to answer.
I don't know, is my answer.
Okay. So are you aware of any complaints that Debbie Keither made against Dr. Posley?
I am not aware of anything with Deb Keither.
Oh, okay. How about with Teresa Folaron?
That is true for Teresa as well.
Okay. So what complaints are you aware of against Keith Posley?
Check the form questions, broad and vague. And again, if in fact those complaints were made to you while a city attorney was present or in closed session, I instruct you not to answer because I'm invoking attorney-client privilege as well as the exemption for closed session.
That is it. I invoke attorney-client privilege.
So I need to ask you this question then. You are refusing to answer whether or not you are aware of any complaints against Keith Posley based on attorney-client privilege. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Okay. And that's on the advice of Mr. Rittman, true?
No, that is, I'm telling you.
Okay, so you're doing that on your own advice, is that right?
I'm gonna object to the form of the question. It's broad and vague. You asked her if in fact there was complaints made against Keith Posley that she was aware of. My objection to that question was if in fact those complaints were referred to her while a city attorney was present, it's attorney-client privilege, as well as if it was in closed session, it is exempt. Based on that, she is invoking the attorney-client privilege as well as closed session exemption.
So, again, thank you for that testimony, Attorney Riven. We'll just have to go from there. So are you aware that the consequences of refusing these questions could be that you are ordered to sit for another deposition and answer these questions?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware of a lawsuit filed by Mr. Kevin Bay against the school district?
It's not familiar to me at all.
Okay. Are you familiar with the lawsuit filed against the district by Debbie Keither?
I am now. Initially, I was not.
What does initially mean?
Is that I never knew who she was because whatever was going on before I was ever on the board, to my knowledge. And so I wasn't familiar with that.
Okay. Did you ever meet Debbie Keither in a supermarket?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever tell her that there were problems with the board?
No.
Did you ever tell her that there were problems with the city attorney's office?
No.
Okay. Were you aware of a complaint filed by Jeremiah Holliday against Keith Posey?
No. That's news to me as well.
Okay. Get that document there. I think we're on 4. If you just wait for her to put the sticker on, please. Have you seen this document before?
No.
Okay. Do you know what this document is?
It's a discrimination complaint.
Okay, and do you see the date on the discrimination complaint when it was filed?
Let me see, date April 2nd, 2021.
Okay. Were you a director of the Milwaukee Public School Board of Directors at that time?
Yes.
Okay. And so it's your testimony here today that you were never informed of this complaint during your time as a school board director, fair?
No, I've never seen this.
Okay. All right, I think we're on 5.
Keep them in order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I believe that's 5.
Okay.
Do you know who Bob Peterson is?
Yes.
Who's Bob Peterson?
Former president of the board?
Okay. That's your predecessor in this position?
Yes.
Was he ever on the board while you were on the board?
Yes.
Did you ever work with him in your time as on the board?
Yes, we did. Resolutions together, that type of thing.
Okay. Did you ever vote with him let's say, did you ever vote on the same, to approve the same items as Bob Peterson?
Check the forum questions, broad and vague. Go ahead and answer if you can.
I couldn't say.
Okay. Now, do you know what MPSU is?
Yes, I do.
What is MPSU?
Milwaukee Public Schools University.
Okay. And what is the purpose of MPSU?
Briefly, I would say that is try to assist people to get their certification to teach.
Okay. Is there a population that the MPSU primarily serves?
I do not know for fact.
Okay. Is there anything that's keeping you from knowing that?
I never asked for it really, and I've never been exposed to it or went there.
You've never gone to MPSU?
Correct.
Okay. Why not?
I was busy enough doing the things that I had to do in my district. An active board director has an awful lot of responsibility in spite of what people may think. And since I've been on the board, I would say that responsibility has multiplied. So,
are you aware of any complaints against MPSU?
I've heard rumblings, yes, but truly knowing what was going on, I would say no.
What are those rumblings that you've heard?
Just that there were issues, some personnel issues. I just don't know any details about it.
Okay, so as far as we're up to, there's personnel issues, correct?
That's my understanding.
Of that you have no other understanding than there's personnel issues, is that fair?
Rumblings of personnel issues.
Fair enough. And what are rumblings of personnel issues? What does that mean? What's a rumbling?
Oh, occasionally you hear something through the grapevine about it, but you don't know it as fact or it hasn't come before the board.
Okay. So as a board member, do you have any ability to fact find?
Yes, if you are aware of something.
Okay. So when you heard these rumblings, and I guess to back up a second, where did you hear these rumblings from?
It's just usually in conversation with someone.
Great. Who was that person?
I couldn't tell you specifically. I mean,
Was it Bob Peterson ever?
I would say no.
Okay. Did you ever discuss MPSU with Bob Peterson?
I would say no.
Okay. So, is there, other than Bob Peterson, is there anybody else that you're able to say that you did not receive these rumblings from?
Check the forum questions, broad and vague.
This goes back a ways, and it wasn't anything that I would have taken over my memory. My long-term memory is whether I was speaking to someone or not about anything specifically related to MPSU.
How about Matt Chasen?
What about Matt?
Did you hear any issues on MPSU from Matt Chasen? Rumblings, to use your term.
I would say probably not.
Okay. So the rumblings that you heard from MPSU about personnel issues, is it fair to say that those weren't significant enough for you to investigate?
Check the forum question, broad and vague, also mischaracterizes your testimony.
I would say that would be an assumption. I mean, you're out in the community, you're talking to people all over the place. You don't necessarily know or remember who it happened to be. I mean, as a board director, you're seeing, you speak, people throw stuff at you all over. So I couldn't give you any specifics on that at all.
So if I, as a citizen of Milwaukee, were to give you information as a board member, there would be no follow-up for that whatsoever, right?
Check the
No,
forum
I wouldn't say
broad
that.
and vague. Go ahead.
Why not?
Because when people bring issues to me and they send me an email about an issue, I do my best to respond.
Okay.
What I said was just when you're out in the community and somebody just, says something about an issue, but, Sometimes I give people my phone number, my email address, and I never hear from them. That's another thing. So I can just simply say what I said in the beginning.
So for the MPSU situation, the only information that you got was from members of the public coming up to you at random times. Is that fair?
I would say, yes, I know very little about MPSU.
Okay. And as a board director, you're able to direct Matthew Chasen to investigate anything you want, right?
That's pretty broad. I would say no.
Why not?
I've not been aware of board directors doing such a thing.
Well, there's a policy that allows you to do that, isn't there?
Some of the policies, we've not, I'm in particular, I have not given him direction to investigate something specifically.
Have you ever read the board policy on the Office of Accountability and Efficiency?
Yes.
Okay. And are you aware that that policy gives you the ability to ask Mr. Chasen to investigate?
That wasn't something in top of my mind. I know that if I need information, I can go to him and ask for it, but, you know, as far as, I can go demand, yeah. I have not had a need to do that,
Okay, so you've never done that?
no.
Okay. Are you aware of any other board members doing that?
I don't know, because the way the structure of the board is, it is one where board directors have communication limitations.
What does that mean?
The structure is such that when you're working together, more than two board directors working on a single item is the policy.
Okay. So, in your experience as a board director, have you ever known more than two board directors to communicate not in public?
Check the wrong person brought in by, go ahead and answer for you.
I wouldn't know
Okay, and why wouldn't you know?
unless I was involved in that. I wouldn't know.
Okay. Has the board ever met at a private, let's not say the board, have portions of the board ever met at a private individual's house to discuss, houses, to discuss board business?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Have you ever participated in such a meeting?
No.
Okay.